In divorce, nothing is final, and the after effects can hit you when you least expect. So how do you avoid the post-traumatic stress from after divorce? Joining me to talk about this is Kerri Kannan, who is a stress relief expert and author. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Paula.
So Kerri, it's not so much the divorce process itself, but people have to think about after.
Yeah, the best way to combat the after effects is to be well prepared. So make sure you have a really good attorney who's on your side. Make sure you have a financial analyst who's going to help you to figure out what you can do. And if you need to sell your house, you really need to make sure that you do that. And in that, basically your entire life is being ripped apart. But you need to make sure that you have the foundation set first, because otherwise, if you don't, when spousal maintenance runs out or whatever happens, life changes, then you may be completely unprepared for what has happened, especially if you decide to mediate or do it on your own.
So what's your advice? How do you deal with that?
I would make sure that you have all the groundwork set first, and then dealing with the emotional aspects of it, then you could work with somebody like myself or some stress relief person in your area who can help you to address the changing lifestyle. Because what happens in divorce is it's almost like our culture creates this artificial separation, like a tearing apart. And normally in life, things sort of happen sort of naturally in stages. When you're in a divorce, it's like everything is ripped apart at once. So you really need to be able to take the emotional element and deal with it as it comes. And you have to do things that wouldn't normally have to be dealt with in a normal life situation.
What are some of the things that you usually see that come after?
Guilt, that the family was torn apart. Financial devastation, that people just can't deal with the new life that they have. Some people feel emotionally that they can't connect with somebody else, or mistrusting or distrusting of men or women or whatever, and feeling sort of a feeling of caged or not the freedom that they perhaps used to have in the divorce, so there might be a regret. All of that has to be dealt with so that you can kind of claim your power back and move on, because the fact of the matter is you can't go back and change things, and you need to find a way of moving on. And there was a reason that you got divorced in the first place.
Do those feelings ever disappear?
They can go away, and using stress relief techniques, they can go away more quickly, and you can gain the balance and the center that you need to make, good decisions for yourself and your family.
And you're also part of the Divorce Resource.
I am part of the Divorce Resource Consortium, and we have a great attorney, a great financial advisor, and a great real estate person who can help with the foundational elements of what's going on. And then dealing with the overwhelm, people would then come to me because it is completely overwhelming.
So deal with the finances, deal with your attorney, and then come and take care of yourself.
Or during the process. It's a case-by-case basis. Some people are so overwhelmed with everything that they have to do that they need to actually talk to somebody like me before they go talk to their attorney, because they don't know what to do. When you are stressed out and overwhelmed, you can't even think. You can't even articulate what you want. And when you do that, you give your power away to what your friend thinks you should do or this person thinks you should do, instead of being centered in yourself and being able to make good decisions for yourself and your family.
And even if you're not going through the process now, but if you've gone through the process and now you're having those feelings, then come and see you or talk about it.
A lot of people post-divorce feel kind of lost and don't know what to do, and especially with the financial element. And being able to sort of center yourself and say, okay, what's my next step? You can't know what your next step is if you can't think, if you're overwhelmed, if you're depressed, if you're dealing with the backlash of what you've gone through and you don't have coping mechanisms to be able to handle that.
Does it work?
Absolutely.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kerri. And if you would like to learn more about how to deal with post-traumatic stress from after divorce, or have a question for Kerri Kannan, just log on to my website at parentologywithpaula.com and send me an email.